think your PR pursued me to do this interview because I could qualify to be one of the parts of your plays as an old gay man myself. You meant to say no, not at that point.
No, of
No,
course
well,
not.
I'm all for it. As I said, people say like 60 is the new 40. I say no, 60 is the new sexy, and that's the point of
We're
this
not
piece.
going to we're not going to talk age. So can we start though with
Yeah,
one of you telling us very briefly in your own words what the old gay guys is about?
go ahead,
Okay,
Barry.
so yeah, so the OGGs in Hoboken, we say it's the old gay guys in
Yeah.
Hoboken, or the old gangsta gays in
Oh, really?
Hoboken,
Mhm.
or the OGGs. So it's about a wonderful 60 something a gay couple living in Hoboken, who have done all the right sort of things. They have a beautiful home. They volunteer for all the right sort of stuff. They're doing uh, God's love we deliver. They do they're well respected in the community. In fact, one of them is a judge for the
Really?
municipal court of
Heard of
Hoboken.
that.
And they also have a very interesting and satisfying sex life, which includes, at times, having special guests.
Yeah.
In this case, a young man from Columbia University, the writer who's just graduated, who they see every other Thursday, who's been showing up at their house every other Thursday for little
Mm.
adventures in Hoboken. And as things will happen, one day this voice sort of ghosts them, disappears, and it's like, oh, that's the way it is. But as the actual play begins, one of the characters discovers that there is this podcast broadcast that's going viral about this young writer's sexual adventures with these two old gay guys in Hoboken. And
I
it's
should
about to
move.
be picked up for a mini series, possibly on Netflix.
I should
And
move.
as they say in the theater, mayhem ensues. It's a quest to quickly stop this thing from happening and to save this relationship's reputation. Suddenly, something that was very
Mm.
private has now become exposed in a world that they're not even quite fully aware
Yeah.
of. They don't really, they're not on the internet. They don't know about Patreon or all these wonderful podcast things that you have available in the world. It's a different world
So,
for them.
whose life is it based on, Mark?
Um, not mine.
Well, not mine either, though. I suppose my husband and I might qualify a little bit. We are Jersey Cityans, so we're not in Hoboken. But it's
But you both see things in it that you can easily relate to personally.
e
Absolutely.
Yeah.
easily,
Absolutely.
you know.
Um, sorry.
Apart from the age thing, certainly the um access to people
Yeah.
for adventures and um how far do you go with that? How far do you not go with that? Really, how much of our lives is now online that previously was not? And how much of our lives, which was formerly private, can is sort of on the line of whether it's really that private anymore.
I'm curious because I'm not married now. Um, Old people online, we're looking for friends where the Gen's Generation Z are looking for hookups. Or do we both do the
Well,
same?
yeah,
I
I
think
don't know.
everybody
I'd
does
almost
the
sort of
same.
reverse that at times from what I hear. I'm hearing a lot more these young kids are dating online for days, or for weeks, I should say. Whereas my generation, usually started with the hookup, and then the relationship developed afterwards. I mean, a
Yeah, I
lot we talk
mean,
about was a reflection of anybody's life. I would say one of the things that inspired me to write this was this sort of change in queer generations, how queer life has changed so much. And I think the biggest impact on it lately has been the internet
Yeah.
and this new way we socialize. The bars have disappeared, or they become a different sort of thing. And young people have grown up. We've got a whole generation of gay folks that have grown up where there really is no sense of this idea of privacy. Everything should be
Yeah.
posted in their phones, what they're having from lunch to their genitals. I mean, it's crazy,
Dare
you
I
know.
ask how or where you did your research of what young people are into these days?
Well,
well,
yeah,
Well,
I
Mark,
I can I can feel that because I am a teacher.
are
yes.
you?
So I get sort of kept into the loop as through class,
Mhm.
they'll say something or do something and I'm like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to explain that to me. So I get it directly. directly secondhand, if that makes sense, from my work with my students, who are typically anywhere from 18 to maybe 21, 22.
Hmm.
So that's kind of slightly younger than this bent, but still,
Yeah.
it's always kind of going
Yeah.
forward. So
But I mean, I grew up always believing that I'd never be able to touch with young people, and now I am.
there you
Not by
go.
not by choice. So tell me, you're doing this as a benefit for
Yes.
T.O.S.O.S.
Tassos, yeah.
T.O.S.O.S. Can you tell us all, for far parts of the world who are watching this now, what that is?
Sure. Tassos is the short way of saying the other side of silence,
Mhm.
which was a queer theater group started by Doric Wilson in 1974.
Mhm.
It was notably the first all gay material, certainly not all
Yeah,
gay actors, but with a gay focus in New York City.
yeah.
Uh, Lasted about 5, 6 years, went on hiatus, and then Doric met me and Barry Childs in 2000
Mhm.
and decided to get it up and running again. So since 2000, Tassos 2, as we were calling it originally. And I said, hey, Dora, can we just call it Tassos and tie in with our history? We've been up and running for 25 years now. We're a nonprofit, small LGBTQIA plus theater company, chugging along, going into our 26th season.
And you've
So
cast most of this benefit reading from friends and board members, and haven't you? Or
this one in particular,
yeah,
because when Tassos first started out, the friends and board members were taking part in the productions, and then we started getting bigger, and our audience they became sort of all stars. I want to
yeah.
go. Is Jamie in this? Is Paul in this? And as we've gotten bigger and expanded and moved to bigger spaces and casting more people for more outreach, my stable has sort of gone on to do
Mhm.
other things. And my audience is like, where are they? So we're sort of bringing them back
Mhm.
uh, to get in touch with the audience that's been around with us for the whole time, and sort of reaching out to the new people as well. Of our celebrity
Yeah.
uh, constellation.
Yeah, I couldn't be more thrilled with the casting. Mark did really an amazing job, and I've seen a lot of these people perform before, and have loved them, and it just seemed to work out well that they were just really right for my new play. It
Mhm.
just couldn't have worked out any better. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited about that, and it should have a real sort of, as T.O.S.O.S has, a real kind of family community sort of feel to the event. Besides, hopefully being, well, definitely being very funny and
Mhm.
very entertaining.
Like I'm from London, and I'm very proud
Mhm.
of the fact that queer theatre is very much alive and well in London. And my guys are doing something every night. How is it in New York?
I don't know how it compares to
Yeah.
the West End, but there seems to be consistently queer content,
Hmm.
which was not the case even 5 years ago. And there's at least one or two that are on Broadway. Off Broadway is sort of its own little beast now.
Yeah.
We have a play that's enjoying a sort of second run off Broadway right now, Prince Faggot,
Hmm.
which started at Playwrights Horizon. Now it's in the Broadway space, and it's just extended. Um, and the off Broadway scene is still very individual, so it really kind of
Yeah.
depends on the company's focus or the playwright getting their work up. So
Hmm.
I think it's present, but I don't think it's as front and center as we're seeing in London.
Are you planning to put this into production this season?
Not this season, but we are doing Barry's new old play, Barry's play that's been around for a little bit. We're doing it in February. And I thought this would be a great way to not only introduce our audiences to Barry's unique voice as sort of a preview of a different play, but also to be a little spicy crowd pleaser, right before the holidays.
Yeah, they're both very different types of comedies. But to get
Yeah.
back to your point about you talk about queer theater in New York, I do think how the younger generation is accepting this. Well, first of all, what the problem we're having is that young people are not exposed to the theater, even the way that even my generation was.
Right.
So it's being dropped out of their vocabulary, and this is especially, I think, upsetting to me because I believe that there is such a thing as gay culture. And we use
Yeah,
the word gay if that causes problems. I mean, gay is in the entire, all-encompassing queer
Yeah.
movement. That and part of that culture should be not just our art and our poetry and the literature, which everybody keeps picking up. I young, the alpha generation certainly read gay literature. They'll go onto the blogs. They're loving the drag race. They're taking all this stuff in, but they seem to be often, and as often happens in American culture, period, dropping out the theater part.
I always take pride in the fact that Tony chose to do Angels in America premiere in England
Right.
years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a reason for that, in that I was going to say, just to kind of piggyback
Mhm.
on the importance of theater being and sort of envoy into getting queer culture out there,
Mhm.
is because when you do a play, or when you write just prose, you have less, for want of a better word, interference with outside production, in that when you're writing a story or you're writing a novel, it's just you find a publisher, and then you have an editor, or you go to a small press. It's a smaller group of
Yeah.
people. When you're working on an off-Broadway or an off-Broadway play, if people are agreeing with your vision, you're like, they're not editing your work, telling you to soften it for it, this, that, and the other. Now, Broadway's another issue, but if you're talking about film, which is going to reach a huge audience, or television, another huge audience, or you're dealing with more people, and they're going to have more say in how you get your voice out, which is why theater, especially this kind of theater, is key to getting that voice out. And historically, if that voice resonates, then the people who, don't really care about the voice, but are looking at what's
Yeah.
trending, will be, and this is addressed in our piece too, oh, let's follow this. People seem to like that. So again, but it starts on that. I'm even in our play, I'm writing my own thing. This is my voice,
I'm
right?
going to say wrap it up and say goodbye. But thank you for talking to me, and good luck with the reading. And
Thank you.
Thank
hope
you.
you raise lots of money.
Thank
Oh,
you. And
thanks.
thanks for your time. Appreciate it.